Brittany, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Can we talk about the corn maze for a minute?
Let's do.
I have a question because I am completely corn maze idiotic. I know nothing about them other than they're very cool. Now, this is actually a crop maze, to be specific, right?
Yes, it's really funny because it's sorghum that we're doing this maze on.
Okay, now stop right there. I
okay.
hate to interrupt you again, but explain to an idiot like me, what is sorghum?
Well, the sorghum is like corn. It's like a cousin to corn.
Okay.
And you wouldn't be able to tell if you weren't a farmer that it wasn't corn,
Gotcha,
basically.
Okay. So if you looked at it, you'd think it's corn.
Exactly. It's just a little easier to grow in Florida. You just don't have to worry as much with it. It's a little bit easier.
Or as we'd say in the corn world, shucks.
Exactly.
So you're having this crop maze. When is it?
It's going to be October 5th, every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the way till November 4th.
Okay. And here's my real question about it. I'm serious about this, all kidding aside. How in the world do they do this? Now, I gather that these days you probably have computer programs that can help you lay out these things. But how in the world does a person go out there and do it? I mean, you take a tractor out there, and what if you make a wrong left turn? It's not like you get a do-over at that point, is it?
It's by hand. Well, really, my uncle was Stevenson, Wilcox and Associates. He's a surveyor, and we tried to get it all put on a GPS, but the GPS that we needed to actually have it completely accurate to the scale that we needed it to, because most GPSs, they're within 5 feet or so, and if we're off 5 feet, then that's going to mess up our whole maze. But anyways, we had to basically go out there and set up a gun that surveyors use and shoot it all by hand and set points.
Like you see these guys on the freeway that are using lasers to point at each other.
Exactly.
Cool. It's kind of like Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. And it wouldn't be that way. We wouldn't have to be so particular if we were just doing any old, we're going to cut here and do a 90-degree turn and cut here kind of maze. But Joe Parsons at their office, he's a really good artist, and he actually drew our maze, and I don't know if you can see it here, but it's a sunshine and a tractor and flowers, and it says our theme on it, support local farms, living healthy. So because of all these funky turns, and we've also got the Kix 98.7 logo.
Our logo is going to be in the maze, which is very cool. But back to it for just a second. When you physically get down to... Do you cut it down? Do you trample it down? I mean, how do you get the low spots versus the high spot?
Brittany and my uncles, as they're surveying, laying out the points, they use marking paint, and they go from point to point, marking as if we were regular surveying, finding each point,
right,
and each corner and turn, and they're marking it out with marking paint, and as they're marking it out, I'm right behind them with about a 3-foot wide mower mowing it.
Kidding.
Yes.
That's amazing. So how long will that take? I mean, if you kind of added together the surveying of it and the actual creation of it, that's an enormous amount of work.
Yes, in other words, we're kind of doing it the hard way. There are, like you said, computer programs where you can hook up a GPS and ride a tractor and follow that, but, we're doing it this way for this year. We're kind of on a shoestring budget, so we're just going with it, and they've volunteered to help us, so we're just really thankful that we're going to get to do something really cool. And so what if we have to work a week or two to cut the maze? At least we're going to have something really cool is kind of what we're thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is it going to be a benefit of some sort? Obviously, it's support local farms.
It is. It's
living healthy and all that.
Exactly. I've got a lot of ideas in this. My heart is towards teaching people where farming is, or teaching people where their food comes from, and about the farms that are in their county and right here in Florida. My first theme, I guess, would be healthy living, and I want to teach people about, like I say, where their food comes from. It all kind of falls right there together because, if you're eating fresh food off the farms and about these local foods and, all of the vegetables and how they're grown, you tend to eat healthier and know about these healthier foods.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah. That is my theme, and what I'm trying to do is there are different institutes where you can go, like
Hippocrates.
Let thy food be thy medicine. He said, let thy food be thy medicine. And that's the whole idea of these places. And they're talking, you can get healed from cancer and diabetes by just what you're putting in your body. And what I'm hoping to do with our healthy living theme is it's not going to be necessarily competition, but we're going to have a little like sign up sheet and saying, why should you win a chance to go here? And would you be willing to have a lifestyle change? Because, you're going to have to go from some of these people, we know the American diet typically.
She's being really polite as she looks at me saying this, by the way.
Well, it's just a complete lifestyle change with food, and people, it's hard to do something like that.
Oh, it is, absolutely.
And
it looks like a lot of fun, too. It calls a lot of attention to it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It should be a lot of fun for people. And the one thing that I've heard about over the past couple of years, and I think you and I talked about this before, is you've heard of people getting lost in these things.
That's the
Calling
idea.
911.
Yeah.
No, that's not the idea. We don't want people to get lost for days. But definitely the idea is just to kind of get out of their normal life and get lost a little bit. And
have a little fun.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun with it. We're going to have some checkpoints, which are going to be like our... they're going to be like our healthy living theme.
Stations.
We're going to have questions like throughout the maze. And should you go left or should you go right? And you're sitting here and then you have a sign in front of you that says, do we grow strawberries in Florida during the winter or the summer? If in the winter, go right. If in the summer, go left.
Gotcha, okay.
So if you get the answer right, you're going to be on the right path. And obviously, you'll have a map you can download or look on our website.
Very nice.
So, you'll be able to see if you keep up with where you're following along.
Who knows? My wife and I met online, but you might meet like you guys did in a maze. Maybe I'm amazed by you. Well, it's nice to meet you guys. It should be a lot of fun. We're honored to be a little part of it.
Other than that, we're going to have a 2-acre pumpkin patch of over 20 varieties of pumpkins, winter squash, and gourds. And we're having quite a few different varieties of sunflowers and a cut flower called celosia. God willing and the weather willing, that will all work out great. Other than that, we're going to have a farm touring hayride. We're going to have possibly it's going to be a petting zoo, but we're definitely going to have farm animals there. We're going to possibly have a pony ride, and we're going to have, rather than like a sandbox like you've seen before, we're going to have a corn box.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, right. We're going to have a hay castle. We're going to have a mini maze, which is a bunch of hay bales, like for small children, you know?
Yeah.
And we're actually calling it a straw crawl.
But going back to your theme of healthy living, when you think about all those activities, this is kind of a throwback kind of thing. People have lost, unless you're in the farming world, people have lost complete touch with that lifestyle, how hard these people work, what they bring to all of our tables every single day. Mm-hmm. There's this middleman now called the supermarket for most of us. But it's a miracle how all that happens. We all take it for granted. And part of healthy living is being a family. And a lot of what you're talking about is take the family out there, do some things like things used to be done. Have some fun together. And, it's not all sit in front of the TV and video games.
Exactly.
Like
Interact with each other.
Exactly.
And with what God gave us here on earth. I mean, I know that God's given us some awesomely talented people to make some awesome iPhones and a lot of technology, but definitely, you get a sense of peace and mind when you're out there in the country and where, some people may want to relax and watch their kids just have a ball. I mean, I've heard many different people from other mazes and fall festivals like this that say that they hear kids going out saying, this was better than Disney World. And, it's like, what?
That's cool.
Well,
Brittany and Dalton, it's a pleasure to meet you guys, and we're glad to be a part of it. And now, do you have a website they can go to?
We do. Our website is Cowart, Cowart as in Tom. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's Cowart Ranch and Farms.com.
And we'll put a link on the Kix Country website as well, of course.
Yes. Yeah. And we also have a Facebook page, which is like facebook.com /Cowart Ranch and Farms. Like us there would be really cool because you can keep up a little bit better with what we're doing. I'm trying to keep it updated.
Cool.
And they'll get to see some old school pictures and some newer things.
And I don't want to seem like I don't appreciate what you're doing by having the Kix logo as part of the maze, but I'm kind of planting a seed, if we can use farming lingo here, for next year. Maybe we could get my face in there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, you have a face for the maze for sure.
For sure.
I can see Dalton go, let's just mow that all down. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you. We appreciate being here.